Right! I forgot!
Lily pulled out a white envelope from the small bag.
What's this?
I got this letter from Grandma. She told me to read it secretly from Michael. I received the letter from Lily. Just then, my sister came to pick up Lily, so I handed her over. After seeing Lily off, I looked inside the letter. I casually read through it and was shocked.
What? No way!
There, something unbelievable was written. I hurried back to Michael. As soon as I returned, Michael spoke in a whiny voice.
Hey, Emma. I'm thirsty. Wake me up and get me some juice or something.
Ignoring Michael's words, I quickly flipped the blanket and reached for his pants.
Huh? Emma?
Michael looked confused, but without hesitation, I took off his pants.
What are you doing all of a sudden?
Michael yelled and hurriedly pulled up his pants. I sighed at the reality unfolding before me.
It seems Mom's prediction was right. Hey! What do you want, suddenly taking off someone's pants? Taking advantage of me being unable to move, isn't that terrible?
Michael looked up at me, puzzled. True, it was wrong to undress him without saying anything. But otherwise, I would never have confirmed it. I am Emma, 32 years old. After graduating from college, I joined this company and it's been 10 years. With this length of service, my income has stabilized, and I have been entrusted with various tasks at work. To my own credit, I've been living very fulfilling days, but amidst this, there was a source of worry. It was about my husband, Michael, to whom I've been married for 5 years. I met Michael at a friend's wedding. We happened to be at the same table.
Man, weddings are wonderful, aren't they? Really, they both look so happy.
We didn't talk much, but I was impressed by Michael, who joyfully celebrated the bride and groom as if it were his own happiness. Later, through a friend, Michael approached me, and our relationship started smoothly.
I want to marry you.
After receiving a straightforward proposal from Michael, we got married. The surprising part came after that.
What? You've been divorced before? And you have a child?
Yeah. And I'm being pressed by my ex-wife for child support. It's somewhat amazing that someone with a divorce history could celebrate others' weddings so genuinely.
Child support, right? Just pay it. It's your responsibility as a dad.
No, the thing is, I don't have any money left this month.
What?
I had a vague idea that Michael's income wasn't great. But I never thought I'd be paying child support for a child I didn't know with my salary. Maybe I rushed into marriage. I didn't regret marrying him. But that was my honest feeling. Moreover, the real problem was that Michael was carefree about money and didn't see this situation as a problem.
I quit my job.
Michael would report this casually, time and again.
You quit, so what are you going to do now? It's okay. Emma's working, so we'll manage somehow.
This must be what they call being dependent. He shouldn't rely on someone else's money. I wonder if it was a marriage for money. Sometimes I couldn't help but think that. But excluding the money issue, Michael wasn't a bad husband. He was a bit unconventional, but that was stimulating and interesting.
I feel like eating something sweet. Want to go to the grocery store together? Now?
Yeah. Suddenly saying such things on a weekday night, we would go to the grocery store just for sweets.
All right. I won't sleep until I clear this game today. Okay.
Sometimes I was kept up all night playing games with him on weekends. Honestly, it was hard at our age, but I think I didn't dislike Michael's spirit. That's why I couldn't leave Michael, who was irresponsible with money and couldn't keep a job. He wasn't the type to cheat, at least. Before I knew it, things had come this far. But recently, I saw something. A young woman I didn't know was sitting in the passenger seat of Michael's car. I, who had been complacent thinking he would never cheat, felt like I'd been hit from behind. Completely off guard, I was shocked by the possibility of Michael's cheating. In such a situation, I wondered whether I should confront him or investigate secretly. In the end, I asked my sister for advice. My sister, a married woman with an 8-year-old daughter, answered immediately. You should gather evidence secretly, of course. She firmly stated that there's no benefit in alerting the other party without solid evidence. As my sister suggested, I focused on gathering evidence from that day on. As a result, it became clear that Michael was meeting a certain woman frequently. That woman was Harper, the daughter of the doctor at Michael's private clinic. They mostly met on Thursday afternoons. It seemed they went on drive dates in Michael's car. I managed to capture them entering a hotel several times as evidence. I thought he would never cheat, at least. Our married life wasn't so bad, but it wasn't easy either. In addition to paying child support, his debts were also revealed later. Both were from before our marriage. In other words, things that should have been unrelated to me, or I should have known about before marriage. He hid these and married me. Wasn't it almost like being deceived? I sometimes thought. But the only pride I had was that he hadn't cheated. I never imagined that even that would be betrayed.
I'll confront him with everything and leave.
Michael, being carefree and self-paced as he is, probably doesn't suspect that I know. I'll surprise him for once at the end. I was searching for the right day to reveal everything. However, soon after, I received a shocking message from Michael. Sorry, I had an accident. I might not be able to move my body from now on. I left work and hurried to the hospital Michael mentioned. It was that clinic. Feeling anxious, I also called Mom to accompany me.
Are you his wife? Please, this way.
I never imagined meeting this person in such a situation. The person guiding us at the reception was Harper, Michael's affair partner. Seeing her face, which I had seen several times from behind or in profile, directly like this felt strange. As we were led to the room, Michael was lying in bed.
Michael! Emma, you came.
His voice and expression seemed energetic. Mom seemed to think the same, and we exchanged glances of relief. I was surprised by the call, but relieved to find his injuries seemed minor.
Good, it's not as bad as I thought, I sighed in relief.
But then, the words from the doctor left me speechless. Michael is likely to become hemiplegic.
Hemiplegic?
That means, in Michael's case, the right half of his body might not move. Is there no chance for recovery? The doctor closed his eyes as if thinking. It's difficult. Then decisively said. Before I knew it, I was crying, supported by Mom's shoulder. After calming down a bit, Michael started talking. This hospital can't accommodate me for a long stay because of the facilities. I have to go home now.
But what about thorough examinations? You still can't move your right side, right? Maybe there's another cause? Yeah, well, I'm tired from the accident today, so maybe another time.
I was concerned about Michael's hesitant words, but didn't want to push him. Reluctantly, I asked Mom to help me bring Michael home. After laying Michael in bed, I went to the entrance to see Mom off.
Sorry for the sudden trouble today. Thank you. It's fine. But it looks like you lost the chance to tell him about the affair.
Yeah.
What will you do now?
If Michael really becomes hemiplegic, I can't just abandon him for cheating.
I'll think about it. Remember, you're the most important thing to me, Mom.
She meant not to sacrifice myself for Michael.
Yes, thank you.
Mom seemed to want to say more, but left with a complex look on her face. The next day, my life of caring for Michael began. Although he was hemiplegic, the other side still moved, so he didn't need as much care as I thought. However, it soon became challenging to care for Michael's mental well-being, as he couldn't go outside.
I'm just so bored.
Surprisingly, he rarely complained about not being able to move his body. It was the boredom that troubled him more. He often called me for trivial matters, like wanting juice or having his back scratched. The tasks were minor, but the constant summoning was wearing me out. Then, my niece Lily, my sister's daughter, decided to visit our house unexpectedly. Lily and Michael barely knew each other. At first, I was surprised why she would visit. When I asked my sister, she replied,
Of course, it's because Emma is worried. Even Lily, who's just 8 years old, is concerned about you.
Lily, that's so sweet. I'd come too if I wasn't busy with work. Just dropping her off and picking her up is all I can manage. Mom seems busy too. Well, at least with Lily there, Michael won't be as demanding in front of a child. My sister's prediction was spot on. While Lily was there, maybe out of male pride or shame, Michael significantly reduced how often he called for me. Thanks to that, I was able to have girl talk with Lily about school life and the latest elementary school trends. But why does enjoyable time always pass so quickly? As evening came, it was time for Lily to leave. I got a call from my sister to pick her up, and reluctantly, it was time to say goodbye to Lily. Okay, Lily, your sister will be here soon, let's wait outside.
Okay.
As we headed to the door, feeling reluctant to part, Lily suddenly remembered something.
Right! I forgot!
What she pulled out of her small bag was a white envelope.
What's this?
I got this letter from Grandma. She told me to read it secretly from Michael. From Mom? Thank you. I received the letter from Lily. Just then, my sister arrived to pick her up, so I handed Lily over to her. After seeing Lily off, I looked inside the letter. Not sent by mail, but handed over through Lily, it was meticulously planned. What could be written in it? I casually read through it and was shocked.
What? No way!
There, something unbelievable was written. But Mom would never lie about such things.
If this is true, I have to check it.
In a hurry, I went back to Michael. As soon as I returned, Michael spoke in a whiny voice.
Has Lily left?
Yes, her sister just took her home.
I see. Hey Emma, I'm thirsty. Wake me up and get me some juice or something.
Ignoring Michael's words, I quickly flipped the blanket and reached for his pants.
What? Emma?
Then, without hesitation, I took off his pants.
What are you doing all of a sudden?
Michael yelled and hurriedly pulled up his pants. I sighed at the reality unfolding before me.
Looks like Mom's prediction was right. Hey! What do you want by suddenly taking off someone's pants? Taking advantage of me being unable to move, isn't that terrible?
Michael looked up at me, puzzled. True, it was wrong to undress him without saying anything. But otherwise, I would never have confirmed it.
Hey, are you listening?
Michael raised his voice again as I remained silent.
Seriously. This makes me anxious about the future. Maybe I should consider a divorce?
I spoke out what Michael was about to say, and he looked at me in surprise.
What? Oh, you seem pretty happy about it. Your mouth is all relaxed.
Michael covered his mouth in a flustered manner.
It's not like I'm happy. But, yeah, maybe you're right. With this body, I'll just be a burden, and maybe it's better for us to separate.
Michael sighed heavily, depressed.
It doesn't bother me. I'll take care of you. We vowed in our wedding, right? In sickness and in health. What? But, no.
And it's not all sad. At least we can talk like we used to. And most importantly, I don't have to worry about your affairs anymore.
What?
I smiled mischievously on purpose.
I never cheated.
He averted his eyes, clearly lying.
It's fine. From now on, you can't move by yourself anyway. You won't be able to cheat anymore. Now, you're all mine.
Michael let out a small scream and turned pale rapidly. Emma, the thing is, I was planning to leave you. It's okay. Leave everything to me from now on. But I feel terrible about you. Don't feel guilty. We're a couple, right? Despite my smiling response, Michael trembled like a cornered deer. But why don't you rest for now? I'll go prepare dinner. Michael couldn't say anything more. I left the room. Now, Michael must feel cornered. He would surely take some action. I had always thought Michael was truly hemiplegic. After all, he couldn't move, and there was a doctor's diagnosis. I wanted to have him checked at a larger hospital, but he refused. I understand now. Now I understand why he was so reluctant about the hospital and treatment. As soon as I left the room, I listened at the door. Left slightly ajar on purpose so Michael wouldn't notice. This way, I couldn't see inside, but I could hear everything Michael was doing.
Help me. I'm in trouble.
Soon, I heard him talking to someone. Probably on the phone. His voice was low, perhaps wary of me.
That's why I was warned before bringing up divorce. To not leave. What should I do? Escape? That's impossible. I'm too scared. She must have found out about you and me. She's unusually persistent about infidelity. She must have known.
I heard everything. It was clear now. Michael was talking to his affair partner, Harper.
Please, help me. Say it's a call from the hospital, admit me to other hospital, or else Emma would do something to me.
While Michael was pleading on the phone, I knocked on the door. Michael? Are you on the phone? Can I come in? Yeah, just a second, I'm hanging up. After waiting a moment, I entered, and Michael, paler than before, lay in bed. You look worse than before. Are you okay? Yeah. No, I feel sick. Can you take me to the hospital? Oh, that's serious. I'll call the hospital then. Thanks. His face showed deep relief. He thought he was escaping from me. But he was wrong. Now the real game begins. I'll expose everything about Michael and Harper at the hospital. When we arrived at the hospital, Harper was there to greet us. Michael, are you okay? Harper. Thanks. He feels sick. It's understandable after what happened. Harper smiled meaningfully, looking at Michael with a gentle gaze. Can I rest here for now? Maybe I need to be admitted. Making decisions without being a doctor. But Harper nodded and led us to a private room. We don't do admissions here. But I'll come and check on you when my father is free. Wait here until then. A few minutes later, Harper returned with a doctor. It was the same one who had seen him before. Harper's father, the clinic's chief. You're feeling unwell? Yes. The two exchanged awkward glances. As Harper's father reached for the stethoscope, I raised my hand. Let's stop the act, shall we? What? Michael, Harper, and Harper's father. All froze. Emma, what are you talking about? Ignoring Michael, I reached for his pants again and pulled them down forcefully. Hey! What are you doing? Michael hurriedly pulled his pants back up. I said it at home too, right? It's strange, isn't it? You're worried that I think you're hemiplegic and useless as a man? I see. You thought I was after your body. I misjudged you. Michael put on an exaggeratedly sad act. He had noticed to Harper and others' expression. Interested in your body? Unfortunately, I'm not as active as you two. What did you say? Anyway, you still haven't realized it? What? As Michael turned his head, Harper quickly whispered in his ear. Finally understood, Michael's eyes widened, and his mouth opened and closed in shock. No, this is, well. What do you mean by hemiplegic? You moved so quickly just now. Everything is already out in the open, isn't it? Why don't you stop this poor acting? Yes, Mom's letter contained just a few lines. I did some research, and it seems highly likely that Michael's hemiplegia is an act. Maybe it's a lie to break up with Emma? Why don't you try pulling down his pants and see his reaction? Following Mom's advice, this was the result. In a panic, Michael, who supposedly couldn't move his right hand, effortlessly pulled his pants back up himself. So, it was all an act from the beginning. No, it's just that. Explain everything. Sweating, Michael complied. On the day of the accident, Harper was the one sitting next to Michael in the car. They were in the midst of an affair. The injuries were minor for both of us, but the car was badly damaged. I thought if the police contacted you, you'd find out. So I thought maybe if I pretended to be more seriously hurt, I could cover it up. All I could do was sigh in disbelief.
And you thought you could keep up such a ridiculous lie forever?
No, I mean...
Or did you just want to cover up the affair that badly? It's not like that.
Before Michael could answer, Harper interrupted. Michael just wanted to break up with you without hurting you. After all, how miserable would you feel knowing he had an accident with his mistress during a drive? So he even lied about being hemiplegic to make the breakup smooth.
Smooth? How? He's a fool for cheating on his wife with someone so much younger than him.
Stop talking like that. We are seriously in love. Harper was assertive, but Michael behind her seemed anxious, realizing his big lie had been exposed.
Is that so? Then I wish you had been more upfront about it, without these petty tricks. Right, Harper's father?
Harper's father shook his shoulders. His forehead was even sweatier than Michael's. Ah, well.
The moment I realized the hemiplegia was a lie, I had a lot I wanted to say to you.
To me?
What would that be?
Harper's father looked strained. Perhaps as a father, he couldn't abandon his daughter. But as a doctor, he did something he shouldn't have.
You gave in to your daughter's pleading, didn't you? How did you feel watching me break down? Don't you have any pride as a doctor? Wasn't it hollow to even forge a medical certificate?
Harper's father seemed to gulp. He began to speak hesitantly. That wasn't a forgery, it was a diagnostic error. How could a perfectly healthy man be mistakenly diagnosed as hemiplegic? Was he trying to claim it was just a mistake, not a malicious forgery?
Well, as for me, either way is fine. Fortunately, I have medical and legal professionals in the family, so I will consult with them. What? No!
His complexion changed. Understandably so. For a private practitioner, reputation and word of mouth are crucial. If it became known that he dirtied his hands as a doctor for such a trivial reason as his daughter's affair, the clinic's reputation would plummet.
Please, have mercy! There's no mercy here. I will discuss the details later through a lawyer. Thankfully, Michael seems well enough. Please, return to your work.
He might not have been in the mood for work, but other patients were waiting. Nurses had been calling out. Yet Harper's father, who had been reluctant to leave, was finally forced out of the room by me. Left in the room were Harper, Michael, and me. In the quiet room, I reflected again. On the day of the accident, Michael was with Harper, cheating. After the accident, which happened near the clinic, they were treated there. Harper probably came up with the idea then. Could she keep Michael for herself? It's unclear if Michael had thought of divorcing me, but it seemed unlikely he would go this far just to cover up an affair. Harper probably persuaded him. For Michael, who always wanted to quit his job, being with a doctor's daughter, a wealthy title, was very attractive. Moreover, claiming to be hemiplegic could be an excuse to quit his job. But that was a hopeless idea from the start. I knew about Michael's affair with you even before the accident. I lost the opportunity to confront him in the confusion of the accident, but now that their lie is exposed, I can question them all I want. I have plenty of evidence.
Well,
I slowly looked at the two of them. Michael was sitting on the bed, and Harper stood beside him.
I've been thinking about the future and I want a divorce. What?
My suggestion seemed to surprise them. Michael and Harper looked at each other, astonished.
Are you okay with divorcing? What else can I do? I've known about your affair for a long time. I've been preparing for this separation since the day I found out.
Michael looked conflicted, while Harper's eyes shone.
Then Michael and I can be together. We don't have to sneak around anymore.
It seemed they had been discreet in their meetings, but to them, it was apparently still quite bold.
Yes, you're free to do whatever you want after we divorce. But there are conditions.
Conditions? Harper frowned in puzzlement.
Yes. Don't worry, it's nothing major. First, I'll demand security for the divorce proceedings from both Michael and Harper. And in addition, no division of property. I'll take all the savings. That's all. Isn't that a bit unfair, Emma? Did you forget that I've been paying most of our living expenses for the 5 years we were married? I should have asked for more than just the savings.
Michael, who has always been lazy, had trouble keeping a job, leading to unstable and low income compared to his peers. He was also a big spender, so he hadn't even finished paying off his debts from before our marriage.
I know you've helped me, Emma, but I've been trying too.
He seemed reluctant to give up all the savings. Michael stuttered. But then unexpected help came from the side.
Michael, we've come this far, right? Don't worry about money. Dad's here, and I can handle it. Besides, I just want us to be able to love each other openly. Harper.
Love is all we need. In front of his still wife, they both seemed too comfortable with each other. And what did Harper see in this man? Despite many questions, Harper's intervention resolved the conversation.
I'll leave the divorce application and the security for the divorce proceedings to my lawyer. I'll send your belongings to Harper's house. I don't think we need to see each other anymore. All right, then. Goodbye. Take care.
They seemed to already consider themselves a couple, standing close together. I remembered something I had forgotten to say.
Oh, right. Don't forget to deposit the child support. And try to at least pay the interest on your debts.
Harper looked sharply at Michael standing beside her.
Child support? Debt? What are you talking about? Didn't you know? He has a child with his ex-wife. And don't misunderstand, I didn't steal him from his ex-wife. Michael was already divorced when we met.
Harper, a bit irritated.
What debt?
Asked.
It's from before we were married. I don't know what it was for. How much? About $30,000, I think.
I smiled as I told her, and Harper's face drained of color. That's understandable. Paying security for the divorce proceedings, child support, and debts would be overwhelming.
But you can work together to pay it off, right?
Harper squared her shoulders, facing Michael. Michael.
Yeah.
Nodded vaguely.
Lucky you, Michael, having such a positive Harper with you. You'll be motivated to find a job now. Find a job?
Harper's eyes were empty.
Yes. Because of this incident, Michael resigned. Now he's a proud unemployed man. No qualifications, so maybe full-time work might be tough, but as long as there's love, everything will be fine. Good luck.
I heard Harper.
There has to be a limit.
Mutter. Harper was completely shocked, and Michael too was unsettled. Waving at them, I left the hospital. Afterward, my divorce was finalized smoothly. I was a bit concerned about the security for the divorce proceedings, but Harper's father paid it all for both of them. He probably feared I might slip up and reveal everything. Considering the potential damage to his reputation, he might have thought it was a small price to pay. With that, nothing stood in the way of Michael and Harper anymore. However, they didn't remarry immediately. Michael was eager.
I want it to be right now.
But Harper was.
Well, I'm not sure.
Hesitant. Moreover, there were frequent arguments between Michael, who never seemed to work, and Harper, who didn't want to register their marriage. Even if a man is thought to be a destined partner, hesitations are understandable if he's that useless. In my case, by the time I realized it, I had grown too attached. If not for that, I would have left him much sooner. Thankfully, I am now living a peaceful life for the first time in a while. Initially, I thought I might feel lonely. Despite his issues, Michael was good at being affectionate and entertaining. But once he was gone, it turned out to be quite a relief. No sudden demands for sweets, no forced all-night gaming sessions. Some might find that enjoyable, but it was too much for someone in their 30s. Now, I can relax and take care of myself, enjoying a life with more room to breathe. Constantly living on the edge for excitement is something I'm done with. From now on, I plan to live a life without overreaching or straining myself, just comfortably within my means.